Hi, Michelle here. I thought we'd take a little bit of a detour today and have a little bit of a different video. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you to another interest of mine, and that is building terrariums. I really enjoy this. I think this is a way for me to take plants that I would normally not be able to use and take them into an environment where they can thrive. This is my desk right here. It's kind of a disaster area right now. It's got plants and supplies for making terrariums all over it. So I'll show you my terrarium space if you don't judge me for being messy. If you liked today's video, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up for me. If you like this content and would like to see other planty related content from me, please consider subscribing to my channel. I post a lot of information about Hoyas and other house plants. And if you have something to say, please put it in the comment section below. I like to interact with my comment section, so I will get back to you. And now, on with terrariums. I have to position this on the left so I can still see the camera so I know what I'm filming. But this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a desk full of stuff. But right here is what we're going to work on today. So I'll go ahead and take this out and put this in the center. This is a glass vivarium jug or terrarium jug bottle, I don't know what you'd call it, that I got at Michael's. I got it on sale. I think I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of about $6 for it. What I am doing right now is just removing a sticker. No big deal. If you have problems removing stickers that way, you can go ahead and get some Goo Gone. What we're going to work on today is this glass cylinder jar right here. And the first thing I already did off camera. I filled it up with about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of leca. You don't need this. This is called a false bottom. You don't need a false bottom if you have a small vessel, say like this one. This one wouldn't need a false bottom. But I did this one, and then you just use your back of your hand to kind of pat it flat. Then what I did was I took a piece of window screening. I set my container on top of the window screen and cut around, and that has my window screen. And the reason for the window screen is so the next step goes well. And the next step is to put down your terrarium soil in the terrarium. Now this is not normal soil. What this is this is a mix of sphagnum moss, tree fern fiber, and charcoal. I'll put the ratios of everything on the screen. But what we need to do is we need to build up. We need to stay low in the front and build up high in the back. That will give us some depth and will make our terrarium feel like it's got some 3D to it. Okay, let's see how that goes. See how that has a slope that goes up in the back. That's what you want. So now it's time to, there you go. Now I may add more substrate to this as time goes on. I probably will. But now it's time to introduce what's called the Hardscape. And Hardscape is simply rocks and tree branches that you put that the base of the plants will sit on. And I have rock in here that I'm going to test out. I went ahead and washed off the rocks. This is dragonstone. This has a lot of sediment and dust in it. So what I'm going to do is I kind of played around with some ways I liked the setup outside the jar. So now I'm going to go ahead and try and get this in position in the jar itself. This is a piece of petrified wood. It doesn't exactly match, but I'm hoping that once all the plants get in, it won't be noticeable. And then this piece of wood on top. I have the stones and the wood placed in here now, how I like it. And you'll notice that there is still room behind here to add some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more substrate behind this. And this is going to give me room to plant some plants and have it elevated behind the rocks. Whoop, made a mess. Okay. Okay, now see how far up that is? And see how far up that is in the front? We'll kind of try and clear that path there. Okay. And now it's time for the plants and moss. I'm going to go grab the moss and I'll be right back. My moss is in a prop bin. I have more things in the prop bin. But we'll take the Selaginella out. We'll take the creeping oak fig out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip and install. Snip and place down in the bottom. And the moss will green up a lot more as it gets used. Let me take this out of the way. As it gets used to the terrarium. I'm going to put the rest of this moss back in the prop bin and I'm going to spray it down really good. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to plant in the back. I have this Boston fern right here, or it says it's a Jester's clown fern, but or crown fern, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna break it into 2 pieces. Let's take off all this soil. This one looks like a nice little piece. Let's trim off anything that's not looking good before we get in the container, because it's a lot harder to trim off then. Okay, so now we're gonna poke a nice hole, and we're gonna take our fern and we're gonna poke it down in that hole. And we're gonna fluff it back a little. That looks pretty good like that. I would like to have an asparagus fern, but I didn't get that. We didn't have. And we'll put this other one right on the other side. Okay. Grab it by the roots and just pop it in there. Get the ferns positioned. Okay, that looks pretty good. Throw this away. We also have parlor palm. That's good to use. I think I may use some aquarium plant, and it is a carpeting plant. I don't know the name of it. I will have to put the name of it on the screen. So I'm gonna take, I don't know how this is gonna work out. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I don't know, but we're gonna try it and see. What I'm gonna do is, in this spot here, I'm gonna take these little terrarium plants and I'm gonna just push them down. I'm gonna push this part down too, this moss. And then I'm gonna put the roots, right in the moss, or try to anyway. Tell me in the comment section if you do terrariums or if you work with aquatic plants. I got the aquatic plants because I started up an aquarium, a freshwater aquarium, and I wanted it to be a planted aquarium. So I did my research. I did a lot of research and just did it, kind of pulled the trigger a couple weeks ago. So I now have a planted aquarium, which I never thought I'd have. When I first moved here, my husband and I first moved here in 1994, my very first job was working at a fish store. They were saltwater only, and back in 1994, that was really unusual. But that was my first job. I worked there 2 years. I was a bookkeeper, and I cleaned tanks, I checked people out, I did kind of a little bit of everything, and it was a wonderful job, and I worked with wonderful people, and I quit to pursue a career in banking, and that's what I did for 15 years before I went out on disability. This is looking pretty good. It's taking shape. It's taking shape. That's for sure. What do you think? Is it taking shape or is it looking kind of ghastly? Since we did that, the front part, let's go ahead and go back a little bit to the polar palm part. And I need to dump this somewhere where I can get rid of this excess soil. I got some here, let me dump it in here. So here we got six individual cuttings of parlor palm. We'll just take that one out. Oh, it's attached to a smaller one. All right, well, we'll cut the top off and we'll replant just a smaller portion. Okay, so now we have that part done. Looks pretty good. So now let's go ahead and add some plants to flush out this aquarium or this terrarium. I got one little piece of fern, tree fern. Let's see about putting this down in front. Okay, here's another tree fern. Let's put that one in the same place. Now let's go ahead and get down to the smaller plants. First, I'll take some cuttings of the oak crawling fig, because this is a beautiful little terrarium plant. And it's going to look beautiful in this terrarium. Okay, let's see, 3 pieces. Let's try 3 pieces. And then all we do is we take it and we put it in here and we make sure the tip of it or the cut end of it is down in the moss so it can form roots. There we go. Stick it up against the rock. All right, and this second one's kind of getting stuck. Uh-oh. Get over here. Okay, got that. And now the big piece. Oops, shit. Alright, I'm going to use 2. Don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. We just got this part done. So now we have creeping oak fig. And this got out, so I need to put that back down in the moss. Now it's time for Selaginella, and this is my favorite. This is the most beautiful part. I like this the most. I don't have much of it left, so I have to kind of be careful with it. So I'll take some of this rainbow selaginella, and I'll also take some regular selaginella. Okay, these should add a nice pop of color. Like the creeping oak fig, selaginella needs to just be pushed down into the substrate, and that's it. Just leave it there. It'll take care of itself. It will grow where it wants to grow. It will bloom and blossom where it wants to go. I'm going to put this one on this side to grow towards the front. Now let's go ahead and take just a couple of trimmings of this Petonia. Spray this down and clean up, and then I'll get the glamour shots of what this all looks like, all pretty. The last thing I do before I close up the pot is I get in my batch of Isopods, and I don't know if there are any left in here. Oh, there's one. Oh, nope, there's one. Two Isopods. Oh, there's three. All right, well, these two are empty, so these are going outside. And what I have next is I have Springtails. They like to jump. Oh yeah, they're jumping. These are in the charcoal, and I just dump some charcoal that's filled with them in. I want to dump them on the important stuff. Okay, so there's my Springtails. Okay. I really find making these terrariums to be a lot of fun and really interesting to do, both immediately and then afterwards, watching them grow and fill out. I think this is just a fun way to use some different types of plants that I wouldn't normally use in my house. Thank you so much for joining me today for this video. I really hope I see you on the next video. And until then, have a wonderful day. Bye.